Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the RHW Royal Gauntlet pre-show. We are just hours away from one of the most anticipated events of the year. 30 men, 30 women, all competing for a shot of a championship opportunity of their choice at Hardcore Mania in a Royal Rumble match. I am joined by co-host Mike Maxwell.
Oh, happy to be back yet again for another kickoff show.
We have tons of matches to run down. The card is way bigger than we anticipated, but that is alright. The more action for you guys. So let's get right into the first match of the evening and start breaking it down. After murdering Fangs on How to Control New Zealand to retain the Workhorse Championship, definitely proving this point, Cyrus went to go beat up Fangs some more after the match, and Kirk Crimson made the save. But one thing to note, Cyrus didn't back down, which is kind of strange, seeming Kirk Crimson is an intergalactic god, basically. Kirk and Cyrus really haven't had much interaction besides Kirk's ominous warning to Cyrus before he lost the World Championship. I am just really interested to see how these two are going to fight in the ring, and if Cyrus will somehow manage to put down the keeper of the 2K timeline.
We have a timeline? Excuse me?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Kurt should help me out a bit more then, but you know what? Not my place. I ain't the keeper of the time, I guess. First off, I feel like there's something deeper going on here with both these men, because obviously if you're the keeper of the time, and you're playing all these tricks with Cyrus, something's got to be going on there. Secondly, look, Fang got his ass kicked. I hope he's doing well, because I want to have another interview, and I don't know if that's even possible, because this guy got injured so badly. I hope we have a medic on hand with him. Wish him the best of luck. Maybe I'll eliminate him in a Rumble if he's there. I don't know. But point is, I feel like Kurt may be over his head. Because it's magic versus power. And sometimes magic can only help you so much when you're going in someone who has that much power.
Well, and we've seen Kirk Crimson be defeated before. He is somewhat mortal. But I feel like it's just a really strange scenario here, because you have, on the other hand, you have this teleporting god, and on the other hand, you have this tyrannical dictator, basically, who ruled RHW for a year as world champion. Kirk Crimson was one of the first people to basically snap him in the face and say, "Get your shit together, or your shit's gonna go down." And now Cyrus is the Workhorse champion, but Kirk Crimson has always, even when he arrived at RHW at Hardcore Mania 3, he arrived with his eyes on the Workhorse Championship. So I'm really keen to know why Kirk Crimson, of all people, accepted the open challenge, and why he has his eyes on the Workhorse Championship. Which also begs my other question. How in the world, realistically speaking, I don't mean to put it past Cyrus, we've seen Cyrus defeat many people we thought was going to beat his ass. How is Cyrus going to beat Kirk Crimson?
Honestly, you gotta say the same thing. How can Kirk Crimson beat Cyrus as well?
Yeah.
Without, destroying a living person in this universe. Look, I feel like Cyrus is gonna have to cut all the stops, and I feel like wherever his powers come from, he's gonna have to beat it out of Kirk just for a bit, figure out something. You're gonna have to overwhelm him to the point where he can't do anything. He's gonna be so in his head, because Kurt's gonna beat Cyrus at the psychological game.
Oh, definitely.
But he needs to keep his head on straight, if that's even possible, and find a way to get through this. I'm thankful Kurt is not my opponent, and I don't have any issues with the guy, but for them, I don't know the pronouns, but I wish Cyrus the best of luck, and you deserve it.
I predictions wise, I'm gonna have to say Kirk, because I mean I know we've seen Cyrus exploit weaknesses of his opponents in the mind games, but I know for a fact the mind games aren't gonna work on Kirk, and it isn't like Jaden Aries or Mokes, for example. Like with Jaden's injured leg, Cyrus preyed on that like a fucking piranha. Or Mokes, for example, who got a little too arrogant and left that opening for Cyrus to take advantage. If Kirk could mess up somehow, some way in the match, that might be how Cyrus gets the match won. But I think Kirk is just gonna channel his inner Cyrus and stomp him out. What do you think? Who do you think's gonna win?
I'm gonna say the opposite because I like being interesting with this stuff. I'm gonna say Cyrus because I feel like Cyrus, power-wise, and how dominant he's been, I feel like there's also a boiling rage going on, thinking that the reason he lost his world title in the first place wasn't it because of anyone in the match. Part of me thinks Cyrus believes that this was because of Kirk. So what do you do to get your aggression and get yourself back on the placement where you need to go? You need to beat out your troubles and face it yourself.
Yeah.
So Cyrus is to walk into the match. He's going to make a statement out of Kirk and really show everyone why he deserves where basically he should be back in this spot where he should be right now. But unfortunately, he isn't because of Kirk.
Yeah, that is a fair point. But yeah, we will move on to the next match. I am definitely interested to see where this goes. Next up, Damian Tulalongi will take on the Wild Card Division champion Owen Stevens. Owens won the belt after busting his ass for a year. He was at Hardcore Massacre 5. He was supposed to face Bobby, but Bobby cashed in the night before, leading to Owens winning it in a fatal 4-way. After that, Damian arrived to RHW, absolutely wiping the floor with Owen Stevens. For some reason, every time Owens tries to celebrate something, somebody's always there to beat the hell out of him. And now this is where we are. Owen Stevens has granted Damian a championship match in Vegas for the Wild Card Division title. I don't really know much about Damian. This is his first match in RHW, and he has the potential, to potentially win a belt in his first match here.
All right, I know a little bit about Damian myself, so this is what I will say for this. Damian's talent is in the ring is unlike something you haven't seen before. His abilities in the ring is something I don't know if Owen can really keep up with, as far as just his general abilities from striking, the powerhouse skills, and overall talent in the ring. I respect Owen. I faced Owen before. I fought him inside of a cage over at Paradise Wrestling. Shout out to our partner over there. But Damian is unlike anything I've really seen, especially here in RHW. Maybe we'll cross paths someday, but Owen has a big challenge ahead of him because if he thinks Damian's going to be easy beat, let's be honest here. Damian is no easy beat, and trust me, it's going to take a lot for Owen to beat him, if he even does.
Well, yeah, I have to give Owen credit, though. I mean, he was in a Fatal 4-Way, and he won it in the biggest stage of them all. He was not prepared for that Fatal 4-Way. He was set to go... He was prepared to fight Bobby, but we all know what he did to Morgan. But,
Yeah, cash in, buddy. Yeah, cash in.
Yeah, but, I mean, Owen, in a way, though, if Damian really is that scary, in a way, Owen did ask for this. I mean, he did grant him the title match.
Yeah, because he got jumped by this man, toppled, and beat down anytime Owen tried to celebrate something. Let's be honest here. Owen has an ego, but Owen's ego can get to his head a lot more than we think. And that's how I beat him constantly before, because Owen gets inside of his own head with how good he really thinks he is, and he loses a match. So Owen needs to keep on his head on straight for this match and not let himself get too cocky.
Do you think that's different this time around because he's champion? And it's not just like a belt that he won on the whim. Like, he literally, day one since he got here, set his eyes on the Wild Card Division Championship and literally won it almost a year to the day of his debut.
Yeah, because with the Wild Card Championship, sometimes it can be a really easy shot to get the World Championship.
Yeah.
There's some hurdles to it, but if you want the fastest route to winning it, that isn't the Rumble, you have to win that belt. And you have to prove why you should have that belt constantly by defending it, going out there, proving yourself, and ultimately building up your threat level to go after the world title.
Yeah, and
The
that's.
thing with
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you. The thing with Owen at the end of the day, I respect him, but with his cockiness as champion, he needs to be able to lock in because I've seen him hold championships before, especially at WZW, and he got too cocky, he got too overjealous, and he lost the title. He lost the cage match because he was overjealous. He walked into Paradise Wrestling thinking he's going to win another championship, and look what happened now. He got knocked out of the rankings. Well, I was building up my name up there, and by the time we're recording, we'll see where I'm at on the show.
And I will say this. I noticed that Owen Stevens is, no offense to Owen, he is still set on Bobby. Like, in just a tweet a couple days ago, or a couple weeks ago at this point, he was like, Bobby Legend's ducking me, but I'm going to beat your ass, Dave. Something of the sort, right? So, do you think that what Bobby did to Owen, just by, like, pretending like he didn't exist, treating him like garbage, obviously it's still in his head. Do you think that will play into the match in any way, shape, or form?
Oh, 100%, because he's using Bobby Legend as a motivation for him. That's what he's doing. And let's be honest here. There's been a lot of talk about that Universal Championship.
Yeah.
And it's not just here in RHW. You look to UFN, and there's one man who's also calling for a shot at that championship, Bubba Perkins. So there's a lot of people who want that gold. But let's be honest here, and I'm going to shoot my shot right now. We'll get to what happened at the last show, but Owen, you're not going to be facing Bobby. You're going to be facing me. And trust me, if you get to Bobby before I do, I wish you the best of luck, but I'll be seeing Bobby after.
And that's the thing with his belt, though, is the wild card rule. Bobby Legend was the first person ever to use it. And, I mean, if Owen plays his cards right, he could be that wild card, per se. Who knows? If you somehow manage to win the Rumble tonight, and if Owen plays his cards right, it might be you versus him at Mania.
And I'd like to see it because I've beaten Owen twice. And he only beat me once with Synergy's help. So when we look at those calculations, can he really go against me? But let's refocus on this match. If we're going to make a prediction, I'm going to say Damian walks out as champion.
I'm gonna be the wild card here. I'm gonna say that Owens is gonna find a way to retain. I mean, he became the third person in history to beat the hired gun AK and pin him clean in the middle of the ring. So we will find out later on tonight as the wild card division championship is on the line in Vegas. And coming up later on tonight, our partner show FXC's International Championship will be on the line as CAW veteran Brett Storm takes on Aaron Stone for the International Championship. Now, this is a big match for Aaron Stone, especially just coming off that title defense, which he may or may not have needed help to win. So, to help discuss this match, we brought in FXC chairman Ryan Rodriguez to help discuss this match.
Thank you very much. It is great to be here, despite the circumstances after what transpired.
You could just say you got trumped.
Yeah, you got murdered.
You got trumped like.
Yeah, it was a brutal night for me. But yeah, this is going to be like a monumental matchup, not just for the whole Royal Gauntlet pay-per-view as a whole, but also for FXC, considering the recent partnership with Real Hardcore Wrestling. Aaron Stone, like you mentioned, he just came off of a title victory against Hunter Knight at Takeover Washington, with or with not the assistance of Sophia, but it was a clean pinfall victory, so I wouldn't hold him against it. Brett Storm, on the other hand, this is probably going to be Aaron Stone's toughest opponent yet, because Brett Storm, he was a former FTW star, 34 world titles under his plate. So
Damn.
basically, Aaron Stone's going after one of, if not the most well-known veteran figures in 2K wrestling, considering he just celebrated a decade in this community.
Yeah, the wisdom of Brett is something definitely not to overlook. But I wouldn't say age is catching up to him, but we already know in this business, time does catch up to you at a certain point. Do you think that's going to be something that's going to be looked at as more of a disadvantage? Or do you think the wisdom Brett has got over the years is going to benefit him more in this match?
Well, like a fine wine, some things get better with age, and Brett Storm has definitely gotten better with age. I have seen his recent matches in FXC as of late, especially his Fatal 4-Way match with 3 other competitors, which Kari won, and then his recent bout with Hunter Knight on episode 2. That was a huge matchup under his plate as well. Although coming out on the losing end of those matches, he did show off pretty well in those matches. So to have a match against Aaron Stone and be for the international championship goes to show that Brett Storm is very much how you say it, respected in that term.
Yeah. I've also faced Aaron once in my career. I believe his nickname is the Milkman.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes, that is 100% correct.
Okay, well, we have to have a whole discussion with Aaron after this, but point is, I'm excited to see what he does. I'm excited to see how this match goes, as both these are very talented men representing a really good show. So, if you had to make any predictions, any judgment, how do you think this match will go?
I think it could go one way or the other. Obviously, Brett Storm, even though he's been on a losing streak, he still has a lot on his plate to try to go after championships in FXC. I mean, considering he has been a recent signing. In terms of Aaron Stone, he made his debut on the FXC during a time when we were part of the breakout era under APW, which is Atlantic Pro Wrestling. And on his debut, he became the international champion and has held on to that title ever since. So in terms of my prediction, it could go either way, but I'm leaning more towards Aaron Stone retaining on this night.
I have to agree with that. Aaron Stone had a brief stint in RHW, and from what I've seen, he's gonna outmaneuver. I believe he's gonna outmaneuver Brett Storm, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna see Aaron Stone retain tonight. Hopefully.
All right, I'm gonna be the opposite on this one because we kind of need someone to at least root for Brett. Not because I want to get my hands on Aaron, but you never know. With Brett, he definitely has the wisdom. He, like you said, it's kind of like a fine wine. You never know what he's gonna bring. You never know what he's gonna do. But he's been in this business long enough with all the titles he's held to, be mentally prepared for a match like this. He has dealt with so many crazy situations over the years. I think with Aaron, his time's running out with this title. And maybe, just maybe, Aaron's looking forward to other gold or other opportunities here and putting less, responsibility and less focus on the title he has right now.
I have a question for you guys. Okay, so how do I say this? So what do you guys think? Because this is a different environment. I mean, the pressure of being FXC International Champion, defending the show, defending the title, representing a company on another show. Do you think that will have any leeway or add any extra weight to Aaron Stone when he goes into this match?
In terms
Yes.
of me, oh, go ahead, Mike.
Yes and no. Yes, because obviously both these men represent FXC, but at the same time, this isn't about representing the show. This is about retaining your championship. This isn't about remaining in the top spot of your division. And that's what the goal is at this moment. It's not to, put more respect on the show, which there already is a lot. And there's a lot of, representation of FXC on this card already. However, you already said Aaron was a part of the was a part of RHW prior. So you gotta be thinking, does someone else in this show or someone else from Aaron's past, you want to go after him? You never really know because with RHW, this show's crazy. The
Yeah,
board has his mind of its own.
Mike would
Sean,
know.
I will, you don't make me open my mouth right now. Trust me. But if anything, I think the pressure is only going to amount to more success for this match and really show everyone why FXC's International Championship division is a place to look at for great talent.
I agree.
Yeah, I can understand a lot of things going on with Aaron Stone when it comes to defending his international championship in outside territories. However, I am going to say the opposite of what you're saying. I'm saying he is more than capable of defending the championship outside of FXE because we have seen this before a couple of times in FXE actually. Not with the FXE champion previously by William Parker. He did defend the title outside of FXE territory. He defended it at Cause All In against Ikarion Miller. He also defended it at the HCW 1 year anniversary show. Again, and then but nonetheless, he's been defending he was defending that title outside of FXE a lot. In terms of Aaron Stone with the international championship, he actually did defend the championship outside of an FXE ring. Now, granted, this was part of the main roster of Atlantic Pro Wrestling. He was going up against his old tag team partner, the headline Kyle Noble, and he was able to retain that championship no problem. But that was before Aaron Stone got blindsided by Hunter Knight, which set off the events of Takeover Washington. So, in terms of Aaron Stone feeling uncomfortable in terms of an outside environment like RHW, I personally don't see it in Aaron Stone at all. In fact, I think actually defending the championship might actually be to his benefit in this case.
Yeah, I definitely look forward to calling this match down or calling the match when it happens. Do we have any thoughts before we move on to the next match?
Well, there is one thing in particular. We did see at Takeover Washington that Aaron Stone does have someone that he has been training with, and that's Sophia Eve Faith. Um, but we gotta mention the fact that Brett Storm has someone as well, um, a, very close within the Blood Hunters, which is Jessica Storm. So I wouldn't put it past the maybe potential Jessica Storm appearance on RHW Royal Gauntlet, depending on what happens. But as far as this matchup is concerned, I think we're probably going to be seeing just a clean, straightforward physical fight between these two.
I hope so, but this is RHW, and you never know. You never
I can.
know.
Hey, that is true. RHW, anything can happen. Same with FXE.
Alrighty, well, that is all. We will move on to the next match. Next up, the match that has been brewing for almost half a year now. It all started back in June when Grimm cost Seth the shot at the PWD Championship. Since then, this feud has boiled over into something beyond blood, what you would call a blood feud, as the Aussie Miracle Seth Raven will take on the villain Grimm. We all know the story, Seth's backstory, the car accident that took his father, left him paralyzed for half his life, and now he's here in RHW trying to go after the World Championship. Standing across from him is the quote-unquote villain in his story, the man who has drugged his father's name, beat his grandma, set her house on fire, set pretty much anything on fire, is Grimm. And I think we'll start this one off. I'm going to hand this over to Ryan. This just recently happened. Ryan got to experience the Grimm and Seth rivalry firsthand.
Oh yeah, it was something. All right, I was so excited to see Seth Raven appear in FXC for the very first time outside of an RHW environment, and I saw him backstage. He was really eager. He was really looking forward to talking about his gripe with the villain Grimm. And then when it all transpired and I saw Grimm firsthand with my eyes to see, I knew, like, right then and there, this is possibly going to be the bloodiest and most devastating match I will ever witness in any promotion. Just the total chaos that transpired just from that interaction alone at Takeover in the Capital One Arena, like, it was nuclear when Grimm showed up. Like, people hate the guy so much that I literally could not hear myself think. And to see Grimm go through this tear against Seth Raven, going personal beyond normal limits of what personal really means, crossing lines, breaking down barriers. Like, I can fully sympathize with Seth Raven in trying to go after this prick, this massive piece of shit. But in all fairness, when you have someone like Grimm, who is vile, who is, like, beyond remorse, that is someone who is also really dangerous as soon as he gets in that ring and that bell rings. Because as soon as that bell rings, you don't know what could happen. You could be walking out of that match with your legs fully intact, or they could be separated from your body no matter the circumstances. So seeing all that unfold was truly beyond an experience, and I, for one, cannot wait to see how this matchup unfolds at Royal Gauntlet.
So, Mike, we were able to get a small taste of what you thought about Grimm in our last pre-show. Before that nuclear promo where Grimm insulted his dad, basically said, "You are going to wish the car rolled over one more time and you'd be dead by your dad." What are your thoughts?
Sean, you don't have to bleep a lot of this out, so get the button ready. Okay. I don't even know where the fuck to begin with this shit, but Grimm is a piece of shit. He has no. We already know this by now. He has no respect for anybody. He only cares about himself. The fact he is so ego driven, the fact that Seth's doing better than him, and the fact that he lost his company, lost his show, and now he has to go to levels like this to stay relevant is not surprising to me because Grimm at this point in his career is fading fast. And he has to do something to stay relevant. And the fact that the villain, quote unquote, you're not a villain. You're just an evil psychopath who's only here to torture other people and get attention. Because you lack the attention, you lack literally everything at this point in your career. And I cannot wait to see Seth knock some sense into you, not just for himself, but for his whole bloodline, because he's doing something great for his family. He's doing something impressive and incredible. You're embarrassing your entire family doing this shit. And let alone that, I can only imagine what your son's feeling with seeing his father act like this shit while he's on the shelf. And he can't do nothing about it because his dad's acting like a piece of shit. So, you know what? I can't wait to see what happens when his son comes back and realizes his father is who he is today. But, you know what? Enough said. We already know this is a death match. Seth's gonna bring all the fight to Grimm. He's been holding up for half a year now.
This is unsanctioned
Grimm's got
too, and it cannot be stopped for any reason. Any reason at
yeah,
all.
it's just well. All I'm gonna say is if Alex Young walks out there, be prepared that I'm gonna walk out there and knock Alex Young on his ass and take him out of the Rumble myself.
Let's touch on that for a
Because
second. Not a lot of people, and I noticed too that even Alex Young has backed off helping Grimm a bit ever since that promo in the Super Show. Has anybody else picked up on that?
I picked on it a bit, but I've been more busy with my shit to worry about whatever Alex is doing.
I mean, Grimm got.
You know, I was.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry if I interrupted you there for a minute there. I was actually in attendance at Super Show when the whole promo between Seth and Grimm transpired, and I gotta have to agree with Mike on this one. I did not notice that Alex has been backing away from helping Grimm out, but it leads to the idea of what's considered a moral standard. Grimm has no moral standard. He is someone that is willing to do, like what Mike said, he's willing to do whatever it takes to stay relevant in RHW. I sort of want to bring up a comparison to a match that happened on my show at Takeover. Hart versus Ego, Seth Maxwell versus Tony Rose. Seth, Heart of Gold, someone who has been in this, someone who has been on a huge renaissance as of late, ever since coming back to FXE. And then there's Tony Rose, who is egomaniacal, always looking to try to find ways to stay relevant. Granted, it is inferior to what we are seeing with Raven and Grimm, but the comparisons between those two are almost in similar vein that I can't help but notice that Seth Raven is sort of like the Maxwell of this entire feud. He's someone who is willing to stand up for himself. He is willing to take on all challenges. So to see how this is going to unfold, considering that this is going to be an environment where, like you mentioned, match can't be stopped for any reason. No disqualifications, no countouts. The only thing that the ref can do is a pinfall or submission in that ring. And to see how this matchup will unfold under those circumstances, oh boy, get ready for what do you call the terminology? It's gonna be beautiful in its brutality, is what I would say.
I mean, like what I couldn't get, and I would like to get in the Grimm's head, but I'd hate to see the fucked up things that are in it. But Seth, for example, too, in that standing across the ring from Grimm, he has a tattoo on the pectoral muscle of your childhood trauma of you after that car accident in the hospital, tattooed on his chest. That's gonna be there for the rest of his life, which may be cut short at Gauntlet. Who knows? But I just want to get your guys' thoughts on who you think is gonna walk out the victor and the survivor tonight. And might I add, too, Raven has declared for the Royal Rumble match later on tonight. So,
wow.
Because he's still focused on winning the World Championship in the name of his late father, but Grimm is an obstacle in the way. So, who do you think's going to win? And I won't get too far into Rumble predictions yet. Is there a slight possibility that Seth might win the Rumble? And I'm just going to bring this up for the people who don't know. Tonight, January 10th, is the 15th anniversary of that car accident that killed Seth's father and put him in the hospital in a coma and all that stuff. So the pressure's got to be mounting.
Mike, I'll let you pick the prediction first.
Okay, so if we're talking solely about, well, this match can go in a lot of different ways. If Grimm wins, let's be honest, he would definitely take Seth's spot in the Rumble, because if you're having a death match right before you compete in a Rumble, if you don't win the death match, it's highly unlikely you're going to be in the match, let alone the fact that if you even win it or survive, you're doing the Rumble, you don't got a chance of winning. Your chances are very, very low. And look, I've seen all the outlets. I've seen everyone talking about Seth, possibly winning the World Gauntlet and shooting his shot to go after one of the world titles. And I see my name up there too. But if we're looking at opportunities like that, if Seth wins, which I want him to win, I really need him to win. Because if he doesn't, someone else is going to have to take out Grimm. And I'd rather not do that. I don't think anyone around here wants to do that shit, because Grimm is a psychopath on some sort of drugs. Who knows? But if Seth makes it to the Rumble match and I'm in there with him, it's more likely I would probably beat Seth, because Seth is hurt. He's not 100%. And for my case, because I want to make an impact and I want to be the one to take the title off Bobby, and I don't want to be Bubba, let alone anybody else around here. So, but if we're talking about this match, the death match, sorry about getting off topic, but I'm going with Seth. I need Seth to win, not just for himself, but his whole family and everyone else around here. So, Seth, pull it off, please.
I agree.
I'm
Seth
going
has to win.
to.
That's all I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
I'm going to echo that same sentiment as well. Seth Raven is definitely has what needs to win that matchup in order to um protect his family legacy. In terms of the gauntlet, though, like Mike said, he's probably gonna be bruised, battered, and beaten before he can even get to that match. So in terms of the Royal Gauntlet, I don't see him having a chance. But in terms of this match, Seth, as a favor from FXE to everyone in the locker room at FXE as well, kick Grimm's fucking ass for us, please.
I agree with that statement. I just can't believe how calm Seth has been. I mean, even in that promo exchange, even when he got saying I'm gonna kill you, man, he was just so calm, and I just don't understand his mindset. But hopefully, this death match tonight will unlock that side he needs to go to beat Grimm. But do we have any final
I,
thoughts before we move on? Go ahead. Sorry.
the way you said it, about being calm during those promos with Grimm, it just goes to show that, like, you can try to beat Raven down physically, but you can't beat him mentally. Grimm is always known for having the way of trying to get into people's minds, try to lower their mentality going into a matchup. Sure, you could be like a all bad physical brute, but if your mentality is not the same as your physicality, chances are you're probably not going to leave that match with a W in the back of your back. You're going to be taking that L, and you're going to be taking it real hard. In terms of Raven, his mentality has always been consistent. It has always been making sure that, like, sticks and stones may break my bones, but but words can never hurt me. That's what I see in Seth Raven, and that's what and that's why that's why I made my prediction that Seth is going to win this death match.
Mike, do you have any other opinions before we move on?
I got all my words out, Sean. I hope you believed a lot of the shit I said about Grimm. So once again, I want to apologize to Grimm's son, who's on the shelf right now since the last Christmas show. I hope you're feeling better. I hope whenever you're able to come back, you're able to handle the shit with your father, because someone needs to do that, and it can't be me, nor management, because I guess management is too busy handling God knows what around here.
Seth got suspended. Damn.
Oh yeah, but let's get into that crap because
We have to cover that.
so you suspend Seth when he says one minuscule tiny thing about Grimm, but Grimm can burn down someone else's house, get arrested, attack someone's grandmother, piss on a grave, talk about so many members of Seth's family is not even funny. He can do all that shit, but he doesn't get suspended or nothing. I call bullshit. So many levels of bullshit. It's not even funny. So
Speaking from an experience of someone who owns a promotion, if it's boosting ratings and earning you money, I don't think they're gonna care.
Well, and we've
if
seen
they
how
don't care,
corrupt. Oh, excuse me, I didn't mean to use the word corrupt. Hopefully, I don't get fired. We've seen how Sean does business, especially with Ty Matthews, and what Sean's been doing, and his little and Jack Bradford and all those people. I mean, I know we don't really know too many members of the board, but from what we've seen, very scummy organization. And it is my opinion up on this match. I hope Seth beats that crusty bald bitch's ass.
I 100% agree with that sentiment. And hey, at least on the bright side, even though we have corrupt management in RHW, we're clean and cozy in FXC, and it's a good thing it's a good thing with the partnership. So
okay, well, good for you. Hand me a fucking contract, and we can work about that shit later.
Self glaze. I can understand. I can understand that. I was just bringing up my points. But yeah, in terms of this matchup, Seth, kick Grimm's ass for us, please.
Alrighty.
All right, but like I said, hand me the fucking contract.
Next up is a gigantic triple threat match between the Women's World Champion Cheryl Malone, the former Forever Champion Madison Reyes, and the former #1 contender Trixie. For the Women's World Championship, we all know Madison's historic world title reign of over 584 days, which was ended by her best friend Cheryl Malone after Madison may or may not have set up an attack. We all know the story there. Trixie won a battle royal, faced Cheryl Malone in the main event of Hardcore Massacre 5, came up short, went on a hiatus, and now I don't know what has gotten into Trixie, but she's not as respectful laid back anymore. She is this, like, I don't even know how to describe it. Something changed. I don't know if it's when she bonked her nose on the barricade, when she went for that sliced bread. I don't know if she's losing her mind, but something's changed about Trixie. And when Madison and Cheryl went one-on-one at the Super Show, Trixie ran in and beat the ever-loving hell out of both of them. And somehow, Madison Reyes is in another World Championship match. Her third championship match in a row. I know Mike has some stuff to say about that. This is a huge triple threat main event. I mean, the winner of this will go on to Mania. What are your guys' thoughts? Mike, I'll start with you.
Okay, so we also got to talk about the EOR here, and Nick Stevens and Matt and big ass forehead motherfucker named Madison Reyes. But you can explain the whole Nick Stevens situation. Nick, Madison don't get along, and the one thing that, like, look, Madison didn't have the greatest of luck with Nick Stevens, which fair, it's Nick Stevens.
Did you see what he did to her?
Which time?
Yeah.
And also the fact that she's not a great friend, not to Cheryl, not to B, not to Naomi, to anybody around here. I respect Madison, but I don't know why she keeps getting all these opportunities. I don't, because she keeps fucking it up over and over again. And I get it, because maybe Sean and the board thinks that, look, Madison, I'll be completely honest, she could technically be the face of this entire company. But if she's the face of the entire company, why does she keep fumbling every single opportunity that she gets? She lost at a pay-per-view prior to B. Barrett and lost her title. Look, I understand it was qualification at the Gauntlet, at the Super Show, and that's how she ended up back in the situation yet again. But it doesn't make up for the fact that she keeps getting gifted opportunities over and over again. Well, we have a roster of women scratching and clawing for an opportunity that Madison keeps hogging for herself. And Trixie, I think, is someone who's got the root of it. And look, I can understand from Trixie's point of view, you're working your ass off constantly day and night for an opportunity, then someone else walks in and takes it, who literally has not have earned. Let's be honest, Madison had a historic reign as champion, but she lost the title. Then she's been losing every single match since then. What makes her qualified to hold this championship? What has she done to really prove herself that she's a deserving opponent? Because she even lost to Nick Stevens. She lost every single match. And you know what? She's not even coming to this match even 100%. Especially after happening in New Zealand. So, with everything that we know now, especially on Madison's side with her at the EOR, we have Cheryl, who, let's be honest, she's being overlooked as the face and as the leader of the women's division. She's not even being considered as the face of this company, especially not even in the women's side or the entirety. They keep overlooking her for people like Madison Reyes and B. Barrett. If I'm Cheryl, I'd be pissed about it too. Like, I've been running this division for almost a year now, and you think everyone else around here deserves this title, but not me? I'd be pissed about it, and I'll be out there proving everyone day and night why I deserve to be champion. Trixie, like I said, she's pissed about it. She got overlooked by management. Both these two women being overlooked by management for Madison Reyes. And I'm telling you, something's going on there, and that no one wants to bring it up, besides me, I suppose. But you know what? Whatever their problems with Madison Reyes is, or they just have a huge sting of her being in title matches and losing constantly. I don't know, but if I'm a betting man, I'm gonna say Trixie walks away as champion. Actually, no, never mind. Scratch that. Cheryl Malone walks out as champion because her power game and what she's brought to this division. I doubt Madison, that's less than 100%, is going to handle that. Or Trixie, who had, let's just say, a very dramatic and hazardous injury because of Cheryl. So
Yeah, that was a
I'm
pretty
going with the
nasty
champ.
bump. I'm gonna add to this too. Okay, I'm gonna kind of go on a small tangent here. I apologize. Cheryl Malone we're done with professional wrestling after Hardcore Mania 3 or 4. She's retired. So, that's in the future, but something to keep note of. Not a lot of people are gonna know this. History is somewhat repeating itself for Madison Reyes here, because when Taylor Cruz was women's champion, was the interim women's champion, Madison came back, set up the three-way just like this, in a similar vein as Trixie, and that's what started the Forever Reign. So Madison, history is repeating for her again, but this time she's not champion. You know what I mean? But I want to get Ryan's take on this, because I know Ryan's probably been itching over there to get his opinion taught.
Well, this is certainly an interesting matchup in terms of the overall look and feel of what's been happening behind the curtains, behind everything that's been going on with Reyes, Malone, and Trixie. When you mentioned that Malone is going to be retiring after Hardcore Mania, like, this is possibly going to be her only chance of trying to make sure that she finally gets the recognition that she deserves. And I don't blame Malone at all. In terms of Reyes, of course, you did mention the Forever Reign and how it actually came to be. And there's this quote that usually comes up. Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Sometimes that could be the case here. This is like you mentioned. Madison Reyes inserted herself into a triple threat matchup, and she was able to win that matchup. That's what started the Forever Reign. We could see history repeat itself here tonight, in terms of Reyes, who could start a second Forever Reign, depending on how things go, or we could see something in the same vein, but this time Trixie ends up being the one to carry the mantle of the women's division in RHW. Of course, when it comes to women's wrestling, I'm a big fan of women's wrestling. So in my unbiased personal take on this, all three of these women are definitely going to show off at Royal Gauntlet. But however, only one person is going to be walking out as the champion. And you gotta also mention the statistics about this matchup here. 33%. That's the percentage that Malone has when it comes to retaining this championship. So she does have a bit of a disadvantage going into the matchup here. And on top of that, Malone doesn't even have to be in the decision to lose the title. For all we know, Reyes or Trixie could pin one or another, and they'll end up becoming the champion, and Malone wouldn't be a factor from it. So in terms of this prediction, it could be a little bit tricky knowing that you don't necessarily have to pin the champion to become the champion in this situation.
And that is a good thing for the other two, either for Madison or Trixie, because Cheryl Malone, you want to do this? Cheryl Malone has a 100% win record this season, which is scary. She's never been pinned, submitted at all this season. So this honestly is really the only realistic time that I see that Cheryl could lose the belt, in my opinion. So with that, I'm going to have to put my money down on Madison Reyes.
Okay. So you're going for the woman who is less than 100% and got her ass beat by Nick Stevens.
It's just the history is repeating itself. It's the number, the history there. You can see it. I had to put my money down on Madison Reyes.
All right. All I'm going to say is Naomi B, get ready to jump Madison and go after her title. Oh, by the way, I just forgot to mention, any of these three women can enter the Women's Royal Gauntlet match. They're not allowed to.
Yeah.
So
They only
that
get one shot.
lessens. Yep. But let's move on because I think
No, I'm
said
trying to
all-
figure out. Let me see if I can get my prediction in, Mike.
Go for it. Sorry.
Yeah, they would gotta get his
sorry,
prediction.
sorry
You're
if I.
good. You're good.
Yeah, sorry about that. But anyways, obviously, like I mentioned, I did mention the 33% chance of Malone not walking out of Malone walking out as champion. Sleeper pick. I actually think she is going to be having that 33% advantage. I have a feeling Malone's probably going to retain on this night. It might be a miracle. It could be a miracle win for her if she were to defend the title and be it successfully at Royal Gauntlet. Then again, we have to worry about Trixie. But in terms of her, I mean, it could go either like it can go either way. I mean, if we had a 3-sided coin, I have a 3-sided coin. There's only heads or tails. So, but unfortunately, I do see Malone walking out here with a bit of a miracle win and retaining here at Royal Gauntlet.
Okay. Well, we will move on. That is going to be one explosive
wait.
triple threat. Go ahead.
So we all said fuck Trixie. So that's what we all agreed on. So fuck Trixie. She ain't win this. That's what we.
Oh, I mean, she had her shot with she had her shot at Massacre 5, and she did lose clean. There was no interference. Madison, on the other hand, you could technically argue she almost had Cheryl beat there before Trixie interfered. But I guess we will find out later on tonight. Later on tonight, Jaden Monks will make his 5th title defense as Imperium champion as he takes on former, well, maybe still friend, Jackie Jonathan, after announcing that he will be having a 4-pillar Imperium title match at Hardcore Mania, which is still quite a bit of ways away. Jackie Jonathan arrived out of nowhere, quite literally, and suplexed the hell out of the Imperium champion. To note, these two, both in pure excellence. Jackie Jonathan is not currently signed to RHW, but Jaden Monks has granted him a title match here tonight in Vegas. What are your guys' thoughts?
I think I'm going to give this one to Mike first. I think he might have some expertise on what might occur during this matchup here, so I'll let Mike go first.
So, first off, both these men I will love to get in there. Jackie, I've been doing a lot of research on. I've been seeing his matches. Truly a technical genius. I'm excited to see him here. I'm really excited to see what Jackie is able to bring to the company and able to bring to the ring. Jaden, look, incredible athlete, but part of me thinks he could be over his head here. Like, you're going at someone who has a lot of information on you, someone who has a lot of history with you as well. So, with that information being said, and both of them know each other really well, it may help your chance of winning or may discourage it. Because last time we saw you two in the ring, Jackie was throwing you around like a pancake. And let's be honest here, no one wants to be thrown around like a slapjack. And yeah, I'll just keep it like that. If anything, I see Jaden retaining, but I don't think he's gonna walk away unscathed because Jackie is a really talented athlete. Both of them bring something very unique, something impressive, something you just want to watch and see what happens. I'm just excited for this match. I don't care who wins. I want to see what happens here.
I'm interested to see how Jaden Monk's ego, I will say, he's one of the rare people on the roster that can have that confidence because of what he's done so far, walking to RHW, winning the title on his first night, and defending it on a regular basis since then. I am excited to see how his ego goes up against Jackie Jonathan's pure wrestling style. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think Jackie Jonathan is going to find a way to dethrone Monks tonight and ruin those 4-pillar plans or whatever Jaden has cooking.
Well, this is certainly an interesting matchup in terms of my understanding, because, of course, like you mentioned, Jackie Jonathan and Jaden Monks, they're both part of Pure Excellence, so they're both part of the same group, but they're going against each other for the Imperium Championship. And We still don't understand the intentions behind what Jackie Jonathan did, but all I know for a fact is that this matchup is purely based on one simple thing: who's going to walk out the champion at the end. In terms of my prediction for this matchup here, I'm actually kind of mixed on this, but I'm actually thinking this could be a sleeper pick. I'm going for Jackie Jonathan as your new Imperium champion.
I mean, it is a solid choice. I mean, Jackie is one of the most unique wrestling styles that I've seen. And, I mean, in just a way, I haven't really seen Jaden run from somebody. And I'm not going to lie, no disrespect to Jaden, he was gone after that 6 suplex. So, hopefully, he doesn't have anything up his sleeve later on tonight.
You be too. You be too. If you're getting tossed around in the ring several times with multiple German suplexes, you would probably duck and cover.
You would know. You got
Maybe
folded up like a pretzel.
Okay. You know what? Don't even go there. Don't even go there. I got jumped and attacked by someone who wasn't even in the match. But I also beat him at the last show. So let me move on from that asshole, all right?
Okay. But
and remember well, first off, Mike, just remember you're talking to the same guy who got his ass kicked by the new FXE champion, so I wouldn't put it past you. But in terms of
Look, if you need
final, no, I'm fine. It's probably just a headache, although I am placed on concussion protocol.
And you don't wrestle.
In terms, no, I don't wrestle. If I did, I wouldn't even be here right now. Anyways, but in terms of final thoughts on this matchup here, all I'm gonna say is 2 words: real graps.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. All right, we will move on. Next up, we have a somewhat of a hardcore massacre rematch. There's not 5 other people on the match. Caleb Cook, the leader of God's Hand, PWD World Champion, and the RHW Undisputed World Heavyweight Champion, will defend his title against Myers. Myers lost the belt, and since then, I'm just going to be honest with you, he turned into a dick. I don't know if losing the belt, hurt his ego or what, but Myers has a totally new attitude going into this match. He's no longer for the fans. He's no longer for you. He only cares about himself and getting the title back. And now Caleb, on the other hand, has PWD in his grasp, and he's trying to take over RHW like that, but he's facing some resistance from Myers and the Killshot Foundation. The undisputed title on the line. The future of RHW is at stake. What do you guys think going into this massive match?
Let me start off first by saying that these are 2 leaders going after each other. It's sort of like reminiscent of a war of attrition, essentially. Caleb Cook, Showtime Myers, God's Hand, and Killshot Foundation. Both factions dominated their respective promotions, PWD and RHW. And then you have Caleb Cook, who won the Undisputed World Championship at Hardcore Massacre 5. Yeah, of course. Yeah, my apologies. I am still completely new to the world beyond FXE.
Oh, I just added that so you can shit on Grim some more.
Yeah. But in terms of this matchup in particular, I wouldn't put it past seeing some chicanery happening. I'm just going to say it with a straight face. Like God's Hand could get involved, Killshot Foundation can get involved. Like you mentioned, RHW, anything can happen. And the fact that this is for a world title, expect the unexpected is my mentality going into any world title match. So, but in terms of what we're seeing play out in the leading up to Royal Gauntlet, this is going to be something that I'm going to be keeping a close eye on because, like you mentioned, ever since Myers lost the title, Myers sort of veered away from the fans. He's focusing more on himself. He's sort of putting himself over as someone who wants to try to get back at that primordial level that Caleb Cook is in right now. So it depends on he said, she said, but as far as this matchup is concerned, it could go either way. All I know for a fact is I'm actually gonna have no prediction going into this matchup, which is a rare thing to say for me, because we don't know what could happen. For all we know, the title could change hands, the title might not. This is something that truly needs to be seen to believe, like in front of a huge crowd, especially for Royal Gauntlet. So, yeah, that's my take. I'm literally just gonna sit back and see how everything unfolds.
Wow, he didn't speak to. He wasn't mean to God's Hand. Thank God. I'm not sure if Mike's familiar, but God's Hand's known for beating up commentators, fans, anybody who speaks against them. So yeah, hopefully you don't get
Look,
jumped tonight, Ryan.
well, look, Ryan's gonna have a little bit of because look, I have nothing to do right now until the main event. So if something happens, you got a little bit of support. Because let's be honest, you know me very well to the point where you know I'm gonna just talk and say whatever's on my mind. Because
Yeah.
that's what makes me stand out compared to a lot of people in this locker room who are too afraid to step up when the time is right. And obviously, we have two very dynamic groups, very two different individuals, Caleb Cook and Godtam, and we have Showtime Myers and his little group of his own, and that being the Skilled Foundation. Obviously, both men have their groups, have their stables, but when it comes to this, it's not just about who has the championship. It's also about who is the most dominant faction in this entire company. Caleb has riding off the high of what happened at, Super Show, which, look, there was a little bit of a situation afterwards between me and Chase Baker, which, that wasn't pleasant, but some things had to be addressed and out of the way. So
Yeah.
just to get that out there. You go on to information, I'll tell you when we get to the Rumble. But when it comes to this, if anything, I see Caleb walking away as the winner, not because of his group, but because of what he brings to the ring. And the fact that Myers has already lost the championship match in the past already. He's walking into this match knowing what to expect, but now with both groups being out of the equation, it's going to come down to really who is the better wrestler and who is smart enough to take advantage of things when it's needed. And Caleb, let's be honest, he's willing to do anything in his power to stay as champion,
Oh, definitely.
and that's what the board loves. So in this case, Caleb walks out as champion because Myers isn't willing to hit that one shot that's needed to be taken.
I'm interested to see after what Myers did to Johnny Wolf at the Super Show. I mean, that was probably the most aggressive I've seen Myers in a very, very, very long time. If Caleb will be able to keep up with how aggressive Myers is now. But again, we've only seen this new side of Myers for one match. But we've seen what Myers, when the title's on the line, he gets fucking scary already. Personally, prediction wise, I'm just gonna say this because I don't feel like getting jumped tonight on commentary because it's been a very long day already. I think Caleb is going to retain. I think God's Hand is going to be hiding back there somewhere. And yeah, I think Myers might be jumped again. But you never know. As we said, he might have another trick up his sleeve. We thought Caleb was down for the count, and then Grimm, of all people, decided to help, which we still never quite got an explanation why. So hopefully Grimm isn't somewhere in the background if he's still alive after his match with Steph tonight. But yeah, those are my final thoughts. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to add?
As far as I'm concerned, No, I think these two are gonna do whatever they can to walk out of Las Vegas as the undisputed world champion.
Anything for you, Mike? Next up, the Women's Royal Rumble match. 30 Women's Royal Gauntlet. This is the first ever 30 Women's Rumble we did. Last one we did was won by Trixie. This one's interesting, mainly because this is an interpromotional Rumble, and we only know a handful of superstars in it already. The winner gets a shot of a women's championship match of their choosing at Mania. I'm just gonna let you guys start with this one. What do you guys think going in?
Well, I'm going to actually keep myself away for now because I am going to show a little bit of bias. Mike, I'll let you go first.
And that's totally okay. You have someone representing your show in this match, so that's totally understandable. But in this case, all these women have either resolved their issues, lost in a match, or won a match recently, which is obvious. But hitting this match, this can set their entire road to Hardcore Mania starting tonight. Whether they win or lose, they are walking out with something that will set their course moving forward. And that's what you need to remember, because none of the people competing in the Women's Championship match will be in this match at all. And we only know about a little bit over a third of the participants in this match. And at this moment, all these women have so many different reasons to win and why they should win. Rebecca, who, let's just be honest, she has kind of been a brat. She's been obnoxious. She turned on her best friend, someone who was a sister to her, and then lost another title match recently at the Super Show. Brie Barrett has been going through a little bit more of a edgy dark spot in her career. I don't know. But B's been giving a lot more of an aggressive side we've been seeing on social media. So we should keep an eye on that a little bit. So Remy has been having issues with Grimm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, their match fell through. But the thing with Zoe is she will go after and do what is right, even if it puts her body in the line. So keep an eye out for Grimm in this match, because you never know what he will do. You have Amara Parker, who's been in a lot of different Rumble matches throughout her career here, who's been making impacts. And obviously, I'm close with Amara, and I'm rooting for her from the sidelines. You have Amber Young, who is a total beast,
Yeah.
and who'll do whatever she's willing to do. Selena and her mind games and the psychological torture she will do to people. You have Sophia Hernandez, Brianna, Amaya. There's so many talented women in this match that we're not even naming as well. It's fair game to see whoever walks away as a winner.
I feel like this is really anybody's game. So statistically speaking, Amara Parker is the most experienced going into an RHW Royal Rumble match. She's been in every single one of them that we had. Has the most total combined eliminations. I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but I know it's huge because she's been in every single one of them. But this is the first ever 30 Women's Rumble. Usually it's 10 to 20, even 5 at one point, but that was out of control. But a lot of people think that B. Barrett's gonna walk out, especially after she just dropped the U.S. title to Julia. But I'm gonna throw a name out there. I think either Miyuki or Rebecca Starr is gonna walk out the victor,
Oh.
or maybe Amber
Yeah.
Young because she's scary. It scares me.
Well, everyone scares you, but that's not the point.
Wow.
That is
Ryan?
definitely something coming from Mike Maxwell of all people.
Excuse me.
I'm glad Ash beat your ass last week or last episode. You might have won, but he still beat you up.
Well, allow me to have my personal take on the Royal Gauntlet in particular. Of course, 30 women all vying for an opportunity at a championship of their choice, whether it be it from real hardcore wrestling or FXE, since FXE is part of the partnership with RHW, so they can go after any of the titles. Of course, women's wrestling has come a long way ever since then, and of course, FXE is currently on the verge of our Evolution, which is going to be their all women's takeover. That's going to be something I'm really looking forward to. Especially considering that on that show in particular, there's going to be a Demon Rush Rumble to determine an inaugural champion. But in terms of this matchup in particular, I'm focusing on a couple women in particular, Rebecca Starr, B. Barrett, and Amber Young in this case. Rebecca Starr, whole new attitude ever since betraying S.J. Ray. B. Barrett, I have known her since she's a part of the Papa Tom Tag Team Classic, but ever since she's been showing this more aggressive side of her as of late here in RHW, I want to put it past her becoming the next winner of the Royal Gauntlet, especially if she manages to get the #1 spot and actually running the entire gauntlet all the way. Amber Young in particular, she is a brute force to be reckoned with in not just RHW, not just FXC, but anywhere that she's in, because she is the purest definition of a fighter, a brawler, someone who has experience with resilience. Of course, she has also been a part of APW's Ruthless Rumble matches, so she has experience in Rumble matches before. So, and I want to put it past Amber Young winning the gauntlet as well. Now, the reason why I said I was going to be a little bit biased is because of one name in particular that I'm seeing here, and that is Yuri Stevens. She is currently, as of right now, the reigning FXC Women's Champion. She has actually been the inaugural FXC Women's Champion ever since winning the title on November 2nd in 2024, back at the very first FXC takeover in Orlando. And she has been on a run ever since holding that belt. So to have her be a part of a Royal Gauntlet and still be the women's champion in FXC, who knows? If she ends up winning this matchup, this could be a huge turning point for Yuri Stevens' career, because then she could go after the RHW Women's World Champion and potentially hold both world titles simultaneously, which would be historic for her career, considering she's only 19 years old right now. That is a young age to win 2 championships, especially in this point in time. But yeah, Captain Zoe Remy, I have known her since Empower, especially considering what transpired at Amara Pride. Amara Parker, she does have the experience needed to potentially become the winner of the Royal Gauntlet. There's going to be a lot of names out there, and in terms of names that I don't know, I know there's going to be some sleeper picks here and there, but in terms of what we're seeing right now, my money is either on Rebecca Starr, B. Barrett, or Amber Young. Slightly on Yuri Stevens because of the historic factor, but then again, history doesn't necessarily won't necessarily be written in under these terms. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be written under these terms. So I'm gonna leave Yuri Stevens out of my prediction in this case, but for Barrett, Starr, and Young, definitely my top 3 picks of winning the Rumble.
Honestly, solid choices. And again, it is also too, like, it's not like the men's rumble where we know a good majority. I mean, this could be really anybody's game. I mean, someone could come out of the blue and win the whole thing too. You know what I mean? And there's FXE, we have PWD, UFN, and all of our other partner promotions. I'm really interested to see who pops up. Do we have any final thoughts going into the biggest RHW Women's Rumble we've ever done?
Also want to mention another name a part of RHW who isn't on the graphic, which I'm a little surprised about. If I may talk about her a little.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alexia Albright.
Oh, yeah.
Alexia, someone I know pretty well from the Breakfast Club. And also just generally, I've been training and working with Alexia for years in this business. I've seen her from her start. I've, seen how far she's grown in her career. Like, I'm so proud of how far she's come. I would love to see her win in this match. If I had to make a pick or 2 picks, Alexia Albright. And look, I'm gonna be a little biased here because she's one of my best friends in this business, but Amara Parker. She's that damn good, and I will love to see her walk away with the win. But out of those two, I'd be proud of them. But there's so many talented women in this match. Anyone could walk away with the win.
All right.
What's your
any
final thoughts?
and
final thoughts? I honestly don't. I'm just excited to see the Rumble at the scale. I'm a little concerned about Celine possibly being involved, but we all seen what she did to Hinata at Massacre 5. And hopefully she doesn't conjure up any spooky, scary spells or anything like that. But, yeah.
I mean, who's to say? We could. I mean, Yuri Stevens might not be the only FXC representative in this Royal Gauntlet.
Yeah. I mean, anything could happen. We've seen a lot of big names showing up. We've seen Karma Sutra show up in a Rumble before. Trying to come up with some other names off the top of my head. I just can't remember. Plus, I don't want to say too many names because I don't want to get people thinking. But we will move on. And our main event of the evening, the fourth RHW Men's Royal Gauntlet match. And this is going to be a hard one to choose from. I mean, just look at the people that are announced for it already. You got Seth Raven, if he's alive, Crazy Joe, Clark Ventura, Nick Stevens, and Alex Carter, Harvey Reynolds. This is just a really... I mean, Seth Maxwell, really hard choice.
My cousin.
Yeah, and you got that dastardly Mike Maxwell in there. He's mean. And you got that wonderful Tyler Rose in there right by Seth Maxwell after what Tyler did to him.
May I point something out? It's Tony.
Oh, my bad. Write that down. So
He's,
I don't do that again
he was
tonight.
He was bickering about that on Twitter. I have to point that out.
All right, well, Tony Rose right next. I mean, hey, we even have the UKW World Champion Tyler Drake in the match. We got multiple World Champions in the match. Johnny Wolf, who is a former Rumble winner. Could go really anybody's way. What are your guys' thoughts and your predictions going into this massive studded roster of a Rumble?
All right.
I mean,
I'll let you go first. Sorry.
all right. I mean, woof, this is going to be a tough one because there's a lot of star power going into this matchup right now. And in terms of seeing the loaded roster right now, obviously we know the history between Seth Maxwell and Tony Rose. Of course, they had their recent match at TakeOver Washington. They're going to be they might potentially have a match at Battlefront depending on what happens. Tony Rose has just been bickering and constantly talking about his victory at Washington. But of course, Seth Maxwell, he has been let's just say he's if there was a reward for walking hospital, Seth Maxwell would take it by a landslide because he is working injured as of right now. He has been through hell in a handbasket. He went through Tony Rose at TakeOver Washington, and before that, he faced Selena Adams at a Matter of Pride 2 in the main event. He is a former LGBTKL world champion, but was bruised, battered, and beaten before Mimi Duarte took the title from him in less than 5 minutes. So to see Seth Maxwell be a part of any match, let alone a Royal Gauntlet, that is detrimental to his health. And of course, you have Seth Raven, depending on what happens at the death match. Again, I possibly don't personally see Seth Raven winning this because, for all we know, Seth Raven could go through Grimm. He could go through and try to go through this gauntlet, try to win it. Who knows? Maybe Grimm might just pull a Kurt Angle and take someone's number and just enter into the gauntlet and eliminate Raven that way. Who knows? Ty Matthews, that's a sleeper pick right there if I could ever see one myself.
And he's having some really bad luck this season. I mean, he came back after 6 months away, and his first match on Out of Control, he got squashed by Jack Bradford. And the board is just not helping Ty's case. So this is really Ty's only chance to win the Rumble. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something that it was good to bring up. But obviously, Mike Maxwell, I could possibly see him winning it. I mean, who know? I mean, who knows?
I mean, he did put
Anything's
Ash behind
possible.
him. He did beat Ash.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. But the one thing about Royal Gauntlet in particular is the possibility of stories that could be built in the lead up to Hardcore Massacre, because this entire lineup, you could see dream matches on you could see dream matches that might happen in the future, potential team ups, potential formations. In fact, in Royal Gauntlet matches in particular, there is the possibility of stars teaming up to take out the competition until they are the final two. In which this case, if they're the final two, only one can walk out as the victor, not two, just one. And the odds of who might come out at number one is pretty much a daunting task for anyone who gets number one spot. Obviously, when it comes to lucky numbers, 27 is always the lucky number because in the history of matches in particular, this sorry about that. In terms of this matchup, number 27 could be the lucky number to end up winning the matchup. But all I'm just going to say is this matchup is going to be stacked from top to bottom.
I'm looking at Seth Maxwell, and after what happened to him on Out of Control, and the way that Nick Stevens butchered him for no reason, and left him tied up in the ropes like that, almost as like a sacrifice or something, I am really starting to doubt if we're gonna see Maxwell in the Rumble. I mean, Nick beat the hell out of him in the end of Rapture. Everybody was wondering who was that mystery person looking at him to end his first segment here. I hate to say it, I think Nick Stevens is gonna win the entire thing. I feel like everybody in the Rumble is just gonna get murdered by Nick Stevens. Let's be honest with you in the end of Rapture. Mike, what are your thoughts on the Rumble?
Alright, so obviously we saw the last show I did beat Ash, which I'm happy to put that behind me. I finally got my first win in the company
Hopefully.
after losing. No, I got my first win in this company.
Hopefully you can put it
The other...
behind
Okay, shut the fuck up,
you.
please. Because if you keep that up, he's gonna walk out here and do something, and he's not in the match. But okay, let's run through everything you did say. Seth Maxwell, which I don't know for cousins. I saying they were cousins. I don't know for sure if we are or not. Who knows? And Nick Stevens. Nick is someone who I'd be keeping an eye out for because, for me personally, there's only a couple people I could see, winning besides myself at this point. Nick Stevens, because Nick is just a very unique and very deliberate and aggressive wrestler on a level I haven't really seen before to this point. And Nick is someone I wouldn't want to overlook, and someone I would need to keep an eye out for. Obviously, we have Seth Raven, the fan favorite. If there's anyone who's keeping up with me in that part, and it was like it was between him and Ty Matthews on the polls, and I was barely behind the both of them. Sometimes even placing higher than Ty. But Seth is someone I'm gonna have to really go after and get out. Because if I can't get Seth out, I ain't winning. And same thing with Ty or even Snick. Ty, truly incredible talent. I respect him. We haven't really crossed paths that much in my career. This is gonna be our first real cross. But I wouldn't want that to be our last. Crazy Joe. Joe I've seen for years. I've seen Joe what he's capable of. I know what he can bring to the ring. I'm excited to get in the ring with him. There's also some people from my past here too. Chancel. I've known Chance and his family since I was starting off in this business, sneaking into wrestling schools because someone would give me a chance. That's how long I've known Chance and the Sill family. And the difference between me and Chance at this point, Chance is a little too busy fighting with Grim. I'm not. I put my past behind me. He's still fighting after someone who's too busy doing God knows what with Seth and maybe Zoe at this point, if he even makes her. There's a lot of talented names in this match. We got, of course, Tony Rose, which Tony, I'm excited to wrestle. There's some people in this match I'm so excited to get in the ring with. But heading into this match, it's going to be my toughest because I've only had one other real Gauntlet match, well, or just Rumble match in general. And the person who eliminated me was Sean Nova. And Sean Nova wasn't even in the match. He just showed up out of nowhere and eliminated me. So, yeah, fun fact. At this point, I'm excited to get back into Rumbles, but I need to win this because, let's be honest, all these other people are probably focusing more on becoming champion. If we're going after Caleb, whether for one of his belts or maybe for some other belts around here. But I want the Universal Championship because I know for a fact if you want to make a change in this company for the better, you have to take down Bobby. Because Bobby holds more of the power than anyone else does right now because of the money and the company power and what he brings. No one else in this company can match. So if I want any shot in toppling that empire, because management doesn't trust me enough to really give me that shot, which fair, I need to prove it. But I'm going to prove it at the expense of 29 other men in making sure that I get there.
Damn, you make a solid point. Make me want to change my pick, but I don't know. It's so plus the people we don't know, and we've seen some pretty wild people show up in men's rumbles before. Sleeper picks for me, honestly. I'm gonna say Seth Maxwell if he shows up, and Rio De Janeiro. Don't sleep on him, especially PWD's Alex Carter. I know people might not be familiar with him, but he's one scary ass motherfucker. I mean, he had to be buried alive in PWD to stop him. So, yeah. Do we have any final thoughts as the road to Hardcore Mania 4 kicks off later on tonight?
I guess I'll go with this first. As far as surprises go, here's the thing. I may know a couple of things that you don't know, and I'm happy to say that if you really think I'm walking into this match alone, you'd be totally wrong.
Ooh.
Because I have a couple of tricks up my sleeve that could benefit me in the long game in winning this match. Because I come prepared. I'm not walking into this match being stupid, knowing the fact there are factions around here. You gotta be smarter than that. Like, let's be honest. And you're gonna have to make friends. You have to make alliance in this match. You're gonna have to work with other people to get some bigger names out. I'm not afraid to do that. I'm not afraid to risking anything at this point because I need to win this match. If I don't know what my future is gonna look like in this company. And I want to make sure I take the best step forward without having anybody blocking me of any more opportunities around here. Because that seems to be a main focus is day one in this company. Because you know this really well. Day one in this company, I couldn't even complete a match without someone getting involved. And that went on for months. So this is really the first match without any involvement of the code of suffering for me. My first chance on my own without any outside interference that's going to fuck me over. So, I can actually show all of you what I'm truly capable of when you let me go. And not have another group holding me back because they want to put me down. And I promise you, in Vegas, win or lose, you're going to see why I steal the show every single night and why I came to this company in the first place.
Damn. Really make me want to change my pick. But I guess we'll see if Mike Maxwell will survive. Hell, we might even see a Ryan Rodriguez enter the Rumble. I mean, hey, we had Mr. Fangs in here last episode competing. So, any final thoughts before we end the pre-show, as we are just a couple hours away from the Royal Gauntlet?
Five
Do you
words.
want?
Oh.
Sorry.
5 words. May the best man win.
Literally.
Definitely. And I'll also say this. Should I give any hints about any potential surprises?
Nah, make them wait. They can wait to the 2 hours.
They sure can.
Yeah.
And all I'm gonna say is, for you, Bobby, let's just say I know a couple of people myself, and let's be honest, that's gonna benefit me in the long term way more than it's ever gonna benefit you.
All right. That is all we have for time. We will see you in 2 hours for the RHW Royal Gauntlet live from Las Vegas, and we will